Hey guys, I know it's been a while, actually probably longer than a month since I've done a video, and I'm sure a lot of you have noticed I haven't been commenting on any videos. I haven't uploaded. Probably has seemed like I've disappeared. So I thought I'd give a reason for that. Basically, for the past month and a half or so, I've been really not feeling anything gaming related. In fact, I since Bioshock Infinite, since I beat that, I haven't played a single video game. Um, Basically, I've just been, I don't know, I haven't been playing video games. I don't know, I just haven't had the passion for it lately. I'm still I'm slowly starting to get back into it now. I think E3 is a big part of that. It's starting to get me a little bit back into gaming. So I apologize to those that I'm subscribed to, that are also subscribed to me. Um, for not like commenting on your videos. I have been actually watching a couple of them, but there are a lot of videos I've missed on this past month and a half, so I gotta catch up on all those. It's gonna take a while, but so I thought with this video, what I do is do what everybody else is doing, um, and talk about E3, what my opinion is on the three. Well, there's really two conferences and a Nintendo Direct, and this is just gonna be in one video. Hopefully, this doesn't go too long. Um, but with that said, let's get right into it with Microsoft's. Now, um, Microsoft. Okay, first off, of course, there was the Xbox One reveal, which got a lot of people angry with the DRM, no used games. You can't lend games out to friends. You have to be online all the time. Yeah, if you play offline for more than an hour, the system, you can't play your games anymore. Like it's so many. There's so many problems with the Xbox One that it genuinely make me pissed, and I can understand that. I have high speed internet, but for the longest time I was running dial up back where I was living before, and those people that don't have internet connections, why you're basically they're not going to want an Xbox One, so that's an entire market of people. Of course, pretty much everyone has an internet connection, but some people don't. If you want to bring the Xbox, like you can't lend games to friends either, which is ridiculous. But everyone knows, how everyone hates what Microsoft's doing with the Xbox One. So with E3, hopefully, people were thinking, oh well, maybe they can turn it around and show off some cool games and maybe tell us why you'd want to buy an Xbox One. But I mean, I was not impressed with their E3 conference. Um, they showed a lot of games, that's for sure. But I guess first off, the first thing they showed, they talked a little bit about the 360, a new 360 Slim that looks like the Xbox One. I should talk about that. I guess the Xbox One, I actually don't mind the look of it. It looks like a lot of electronics these days, just black and kind of boring. But I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible looking system. Um, but they talked about the new 360 Slim, I guess, which I don't care about that. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone has a 360 by now. Which I have actually, Microsoft has said, the people that don't have internet or whatever, stick with 360. Don't get the Xbox One. I'm just like, what the fuck are you? I don't know, Microsoft. The decisions they've made for the past few years now are just baffling. Um, but anyways, World of Tanks, I guess, is coming to 360. Some people might care about that. I don't. It's, I guess, free to play MMO with tanks. I don't know. It looks boring to me, but hey, whatever. The first trailer they showed was for Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. Now, I'm sure some of you know I'm not the biggest Metal Gear Solid fan, but actually this trailer was kind of cool. Of course, like story-wise, I didn't know what the hell was happening, but gameplay-wise, it actually looked kind of cool. This was like the one of the few games they showed that looked interesting, but this is not an exclusive game. At this point, Xbox One to me looks like complete garbage. I don't see myself ever getting one. They need some kind of exclusive game that just makes me go, wow, I gotta have that. And I'll tell you right now, like nothing they showed that was exclusive made me want an Xbox One. And honestly, I don't think there's going to be anything in the future either. But the next game they showed was Rise. Now this game looked terrible. I don't like. It was like a Roman Empire game. You controlled a kind of a, I don't know. it it just looked boring with quick time events everywhere. A typical game that comes out these days where it's just explosions everywhere, just action and just loud, and it didn't it not for me. That game not for me. I think that was supposed to be a Connect game originally, um, but Killer Instinct. Now, I'm not one of the people that was excited for a Killer Instinct game. In fact, I'm one of those people that never really saw the fascination with that series. I think other fighting games completely eclipse those games. But opinions aside, this looked, well, I don't know, Killer Instinct like Killer Instinct, I guess. But what they didn't tell you at the conference, which I found out later, was it's a free-to-play game with only one character in the beginning, and you have to pay for extra characters. And it's a downloadable game. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm sure a lot of people, Killer Instinct fans, were upset with that news, but there's another disappointment out of this conference. Sunset Overdrive, the next game from Insomniac, another shooter. Like, I really wish these guys would stop making first-person shooters. Like, this has a cool stylized look to it, but I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a first-person shooter. I'm getting really tired of first-person shooters now. Um, I know my tone here is I'm not very thrilled with any of this stuff. I don't mean to be that way, but this conference was just so disappointing to me. Forza 5 racing game, don't care about that. I'm sure a lot of you probably do care about that, but it looked like a Forza game. Don't know what to tell you there. Minecraft, don't care about that. I've been done with Minecraft for a while. That's always been one of those things where it's like it's not a game to me. It's just like a tool that you use that you kind of mess around with. Quantum Break. Now this is Remedy's new game, which I've actually been a huge fan of their games. But of course, this trailer they showed, as with most trailers, it's just a CG cutscene that looked more like a movie with surprisingly bad voice acting. I thought the voice acting in that trailer was awful. But I'm hoping the gameplay can be interesting. I mean, it looked kind of cool. Because I do like Remedy's games, but this just, I don't know, something about it just didn't rub me the right way. Swery65's new game, which of course he's known as the creator of Deadly Premonition, which is like a cult hit on the 360. Amazing game. If you haven't played it, definitely go out and play it. But his game was called D4, which is an interesting name. Now this visual style looked interesting. It looked interesting. This was one of the more interesting games that was shown. But I've heard rumors that it's like an episodic Kinect game. If that's true, then consider me disappointed. Next was Project Spark, which is basically Microsoft's attempt at like a Little Big Planet type thing. Depending on what you could do with it, it could be kind of cool. The problem with it I saw was like it uses Kinect and Smart Glass in all these gimmicky ways. I don't know. I'm not holding out hopes for that one. Crimson Dragon, which is one of the better games at the show, especially after the news I read about. I don't know why they wouldn't say this at the conference, but this Crimson Dragon was always a Kinect game, and obviously it's kind of like a successor to Panzer Dragoon, most recently Panzer Dragoon Orta. But this, they've actually, because it's coming out for the Xbox One, it's got controller support now, which will make that game a lot better, I think. I wouldn't buy an Xbox One though for that game. I like the Panzer Dragoon games, but I'm not obsessed with them or anything like that. Dead Rising 3, by far the biggest disappointment for me. Not only is it an exclusive to Xbox One, they removed from the looks of it, all the humor, all the color. I mean, this is a gritty, brown, depressing game. It looks quite a bit different. The inventory, like the whole UI looks completely different, but it just looks boring. Like they've sucked out all the fun out of Dead Rising. It doesn't even look like Dead Rising anymore. It just looks like generic zombie game number 3. Like that was very disappointing to me. The Witcher 3, which looks awesome. I mean, The Witcher 2 was awesome. This looks just as good. This is on the other systems though, so right? Battlefield 4, I've kind of fallen out of love with the Battlefield series. I liked Battlefield Bad Company 2. The multiplayer was fun for a while, but I'm kind of worn out on that series now, so this, other than the pretty graphics, did nothing to impress me. Below, which is an indie game by the people that did Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery. I think that game's called, on the PC and iOS. I've never played that game. This game has a neat visual style, but I don't know about the gameplay. It looks kind of weird. I don't know. I'd have to see more on that game. But I know a lot of people are excited for that one. Obviously, they had to show off a new Halo. They haven't said that it's a new Halo 5 or anything. Halo, I think I'm done with that series. Um, and I don't think they could really impress me that much with this new Halo game to make me want to buy an Xbox One. They ended it off with Titanfall, which is like a mech game that looks a lot like Call of Duty with mechs, really. So that was kind of boring to me. But I'm sure you've noticed here, everything I've been saying here is just boring, and that's the general impression I got from that conference. It was just dull. Of course, they announced the price, too, of the system, $500, which is steep for how lousy that system and its features are. I mean, I don't know. Overall, just a really bad conference, I think, and I have no plans to get that Xbox One. Okay, now Sony's conference. I'm gonna keep this brief. I was on another gaming podcast, and we did like a live reactions video on there to Sony's conference. So most of my opinions on what happened at that conference are going to be in that video. I'll link that video because I definitely think that will be a better indication of my overall opinions than this what I'm going to say now. But overall, what are the more important things from that conference? The console itself. Again, another black kind of boring system to look at, but it's serviceable, I guess. Now, the games that they showed off at the Sony's conference, there's a game called The Order 1886. I guess it's done by the Ready at Dawn. I'm trying to remember the God of War games they did, maybe, or I don't know. I don't know there, but this game looked actually kind of interesting. It was just a trailer. There was no gameplay. Like, that is a pet peeve of mine, I swear. Trailers that show no gameplay. It's like, what's the point? I don't know. But that game looked kind of neat. The big news, I think, from these were the reveals of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15, previously Final Fantasy Versus. Now, these games, news that would follow later, indicate that these games are also going to be for the Xbox One. But, Xbox One is lousy, looking lousy, while PS4, I'll tell you right now, PS4, I will be buying one. Probably not day one, but I will definitely be buying one. Both games looked fantastic. Final Fantasy 15, I was surprised. The gameplay looks very different. I'm sure a lot of people might look at it and say, "Oh, they turned it into a shooter," but I don't know. It looked pretty badass. Kingdom Hearts is a series I've never tried, but it's always good to get that third game that the fans have wanted. Mad Max game they showed, and during that whole entire trailer, I was just like, what is this? Is this Fallout? What is this? It's a Mad Max game. As with a lot of games based on movies, it might not be too great. Destiny. They showed Destiny at the end. Now, this is actually one of the most exciting games at E3, I think. This game looks awesome. The storyline looks far more interesting than the Halo games, and Bungie's been working on this for a while. I love just the sci-fi setting, the visuals, how you can go to different planets, classes, RPG elements. The shooting looks fun. The online gameplay. Like, this game just looks phenomenal. I'm very excited to get my hands on that game. I'll be getting a PS4 and playing that on PS4. But the big news out of Sony's conference was the total bitch slap to Microsoft. With the pricing of the system, first off, being at $400, which is fantastic. But the whole, our system plays used games. You do not have to be online. It was just hilarious and a total bitch slap to them. Sony has this video too, where it's like, how to play used games on the PS4, and you check out that video. I'll probably link it in the description, but that's a hilarious video from Sony. Yeah, Sony's conference overall, total bitch slap to Microsoft. PS4 is looking phenomenal. This is one of the best conferences I've seen out of any E3, to be honest. Well done, Sony. Now, finally, Nintendo, which they weren't really at E3. I guess that was the big news with them. They had more of a laid-back Nintendo Direct, which was only like 30 or 40 minutes long. But it was my overall opinions of Nintendo's Direct were pretty good. The Wii U, it's still there's still nothing on that, and nothing really coming in the future that I must have. Um, One of these games, depending on when it comes out, though, will probably end up making me buy the Wii U finally. I'm hoping though there's a price drop before then. They started off with Pokemon X and Y on the 3DS, and these games are shaping up to be fantastic. A new Pokemon type, Fairy, that's strong against Dragon, and like a Pokemon mini game type thing where you like take care of your, and I don't know, you like use the touchscreen to like give food to your Pokemon and like kind of bond with them. I don't know, that's kind of eh. But those games are looking to be quite good. I'm excited for those. Now the next new game, this was exciting. This was probably the most exciting game uh, that was new. Actually, it was pretty much the only new game they showed. But Super Mario 3D World, like a successor to 3D Land on the 3DS, but for the Wii U, which that game was my favorite Mario game since, honestly, probably like Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Like that was a phenomenal game. So to get a sequel to that on the Wii U, very excited, and it looked fantastic. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is a successor to Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I still haven't played that game. I need to get on that. I did notice, this game, the big thing is, to me, is you can play as Dixie Kong, which a lot of people are going to think, whatever. To me, that's awesome because I love Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 on the Super Nintendo, more so than the first one, and a lot of that is due to Dixie Kong. I just love how she controls, and the hair move where you kind of glide through the air with her hair. I think that adds a lot to the gameplay of those games. So I think I'll probably really like this new Donkey Kong Country Returns game. I did notice it says eShop at the end of the trailer, so this might actually be a downloadable title only. I could be wrong on that though. But that game looks fun. Wind Waker HD, they finally have showed gameplay of this, and everyone's worries can be thrown away because this game looks gorgeous. Watching that, I just made me realize how much I want to play through that game again. So honestly, that funny enough, that might make me buy a Wii U when that comes out. I guess the new thing with that is that how it was connected with Game Boy Advance with Tingle, the GameCube version. Well, this instead you get a Tingle bottle where you can send messages through Miiverse and things like that, which is kind of neat, I guess. Bayonetta 2, they showed gameplay of that finally. It looks like Bayonetta, which is always a good thing. She's got a new haircut. Whatever. Smash Brothers, which I'm sure is the big exciting thing for a lot of people. Both on the Wii U and the 3DS. Probably connectivity between the two, maybe. I've never been the biggest Super Smash Brothers fan. I've liked the games. I like going through and unlocking all the characters. But in terms of multiplayer, if I can find some people to play online with and the online's not broken like it was with Brawl, then it should be fun. But for me, like, I have friends I play with, Super Smash Brothers, but they're so much better than me that it's not even fun. Like, I can't get any fun enjoyment out of that game because they're just so much better than I am. But the cool thing from that though was a new character they announced for Smash Brothers. Mega Man, which is a good fit for the game, and Mega Man, obviously, if you know me, I love Mega Man, so that's pretty awesome news there. They showed Monolith Soft's new game X again, which I guess they're saying now it is definitely a successor to Xenoblade. This game looks amazing. Visually, it's stunning. I love how they've brought back mechs back from Xenogears. It just looks phenomenal. I can't wait for that game. It is, I think, a little ways off still, though. Zelda Link to the Past 2 on 3DS is now called A Link Through Time. Honestly, though, I'm a bit worried about this game now, looking more on it. I hope to God that they don't be lazy, like they're not lazy with this game, and just have the same map as Link to the Past and just have rearranged dungeons. If that's the case, then I'm not so excited. But that was pretty much it for Nintendo's Direct. Pretty good. I actually kind of liked it. No really exciting announcements, which was a shame. No new Metroid or anything like that. But I thought it was fairly decent. Certainly a hell of a lot better than Microsoft's abysmal conference. But yeah, those are my impressions on the three conferences. I haven't actually looked up on too much on E3 in terms of the floor, like what games are on the floor. I'll be sure to do that and maybe do an impressions video of that. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, and actually, and right now I gotta go and watch all these videos on YouTube I missed. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.